Hey there, dtags here. In this video, we're going to do a live demo of moving all of these alias functions out into their own individual script files. So this all stemmed from a video I made a couple of months ago where, an alias to create shell scripts. And I have that alias down here in the mkscript over here. And that video goes into the details of creating the script here, not important for now. But someone left a pretty interesting comment there a couple of months ago where, they were like, well, can you make that mkscript alias function its own executable script? This way it's independent of the aliases, and that will make it a little bit more portable. What do you think? So I did reply to them a couple of months ago, like, sure, totally do that. And initially I put this mkscript alias function in my aliases file just because it was a little bit small of a script, right? It was kind of convenient just to drop it in there, but you could totally break it out into its dedicated script. I've done that for some other projects here, like this note script. Also not very big here, but it is in its own dedicated GitHub repo even, just because I felt like it was worth having its own README and changelog and all this other stuff. But there is a nice middle ground here where we can just take these alias functions, drop them into its dedicated script. It doesn't need a whole GitHub repo. And I think there are a number of advantages there. Now, I haven't been actively thinking about this problem for the last 2 months, but, it was lingering in, the coffers of a couple neurons in what's left in my brain. And I figured now would be kind of a neat time to go and just do that refactor here. And I did think about some of the advantages too, and I think there are quite a few. So before we get into actually doing all this live changing here, let's go over some of that. Like, why would you want to even do this, right? So when this file was very small and I only had like one function or two or whatever, and by the way, these aliases will stay. It's just the functions that we're going to be moving out. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, but as this file gets bigger and bigger and bigger, the scannability of this file is a little bit harder. Like, when I want to go to a specific function down here, it's like, I have to know the function name to even search for it, or I need to scroll or page down for a whole bunch of different stuff. But yeah, when it comes to just dealing with a file if they're in their own separate files, it's a lot easier, right? With fuzzy finding, I can open up my RC file, I can open up my profile file, I can open up my aliases file, I can open up the vdiff file. Wait, no, there is no vdiff file, but after this video there will be. So it's going to be a lot easier just to, find and open files here, just from like a maintainer's perspective. And, more importantly for you as the end user using my daf files, well, let's say that you wanted to use my aliases here, but you didn't really care about this PW alias, or maybe changing the terminal font or something very specific, right? But you didn't really have that option with this aliases file, right? Like, you had to take the whole file or nothing, and if you wanted partially of it, you kind of maybe copy pasted some of the functions that you wanted, or maybe you grabbed mine and just started deleting a couple ones there. It's a little bit cleaner if these are separated out to different files, because then you can just choose which files that you want to keep around. You can just RM the files that you really don't care about. I think that's going to be a pretty nice win here. And yeah, I don't know, just from like an isolation point of view as a maintainer or developer of these scripts, or even you if you're adding your own, there is a nice advantage of just having things separated out, just from like a focus point of view, right? Like, I'm not a surgeon, never operated on someone. I don't like casually watch operating videos, but I'm sure the textbook case where like someone's laying on the operating table and they've got that blue gown and they've got a cutout like on their stomach or whatever's being operated on. And the operating team is just very super focused right on that area. Now, I don't know if that's the reason why they use that blue gown or whatever, or green, whatever color it happens to be, if it's a little bit different in different areas. But yeah, the idea here is like, it's just nice to have a focused area that you're working on, not getting distracted by other things. Like, for example, if I want to mess around with the dtags function over here, it's like there's so much stuff over here, and like I gotta like scroll to this thing and blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit annoying having that separated out. Again, pure isolation, kind of nice. And there's other, big quality of life improvements if you are developing some of these scripts too. For example, if I wanted to modify this vdiff alias over here, let's say that I wanted to just, we'll just echo like hello, and then we'll just exit out, right? Just for now. And if I run vdiff over here, vdiff requires 2 arguments. That's normal. It's like doing a diffing on directories or files with vim. But what happens where like it didn't echo hello, but I just changed it there? Well, you have to do a source on this whole config zshell aliases over here. Now that I've sourced it, we've got the new one, and well, I did exit, which actually is going to exit out. I've actually done videos about that, like in some video. But anyways, like now we saw the update. But you having to source this file every single time you make a change just to be able to run the update, I don't like that. But if it's its own dedicated script, it's easy mode, right? You just modify the script, rerun it, profit, and you're done. Like, that's it. Because the script is going to be in your local path and you're good to go. So by the way, when I say local path, I do mean like here, I've got a local bin directory. So if I go to my local bin directory, There are all sorts of different things in there. We'll see them, I guess, in a bit here. There is one last thing I just want to go over here, which is, I don't know, some pattern that I use in quite a bit here. But in my RC file, somewhere down here, I've got this aliases local idea. So the idea here is like, if this file exists, then we source it and we use it. And this local file idea is kind of nice because it means that you can have aliases or functions or whatever that are private just for you, like local in the sense like they're local to your machine. So I don't know if you're posting your .dot files up on GitHub or somewhere, but these are public, and there are certain things that I just don't want to share for my aliases, and I want to keep them private to my own machine. It's nothing crazy. It's a lot of client-specific stuff, right? Like, directory names that are company names, like things I just don't want to leak out there and put out there. So, it's kind of nice to have that. And we can still have that benefit with the approach of splitting out all of these functions to their own separate scripts because, we took a look here, we know we have a local bin. There's no reason why we can't have a local bin /private or something like that. Thinking about this now a little bit, like local, it's a weird name because it would be like .local /bin /local. I don't know. I don't want to use secret either because like the intent of that word is a little bit different because secret implies like maybe tokens or I don't know, something like really sensitive, right? Where private, it's like private files, private directories, whatever. So that feels reasonable. So yeah, we have options to do that if we want to do it, which we are. So now that we kind of know why we're doing all this, let's get rolling here and start translating all these over. I think I'm going to start just going to my .files repo, make sure I have the latest of everything, which I think I do. Cool. So the first thing we need to do is in the git ignore, we were just talking about that. Let's do a local bin private because we are going to be ignoring that directory, which doesn't exist yet. Let's go and make that directory. So now we have a private directory there. If I go to .files over here, what do I need to do? I don't know. Let me go to local bin private and I'll just use my own mkscript script to create a script called hello. Why not? Demo, it doesn't really matter. And if I go and reload here, we should now see that file over here, and there it is, right? So if I go to hello and we run that, my God, can I type? Jello would be nice, but yeah, hello world, there it is. And if I do a get status over here, we will see that it is not tracked. It's not being picked up because it is in our git ignore here. If I were to comment that out and run a get status, then I'm guessing the directory, like this directory that we're in. Now I am like nested in a couple things here, but this should say the private directory, because it would be tracked if I were to add that. So cool. So now we have the ability to have these private bins here that we might want. And let me also get rid of this because really I'm not going to be keeping this file over here. Done. But I will keep the private directory around. Technically, I guess there should be a keep directory or like a keep file in there because if this is empty, Git is not going to, it's going to be Git ignored anyway. So duh, like we want that anyways. I was going to say we could put a keep file in there so it actually is commit up to version control, but we technically don't want that because we don't want the directory itself to even be in version control. So cool. But by the way, just fair warning here, I think I do have a lot of scripts in here, like they're living not in my .dot files, they're in like a scripts directory, just for doing certain things, right? They're not super important for the sake of this video here, but I think moving forward with this new pattern, I can move some of these scripts here, like my backup script for just backing up files, which I've done blog post in the past. Maybe I'll link to that one in the description. But that can now live in my .dot files in that private directory instead of just sitting around in like a scripts directory or something. Like a lot of this stuff can be moved there. I'll do those movings later just because they're not important for the sake of this video, but we will set up everything so that all the stuff works. So, and probably I'll do all the committing of things after the video because there's been so many times where I've done live videos like this and it's like I forget some bonehead move or something and then I have to commit it afterwards. But by the time you watch this video, everything, it will be commit. But with that said, let me go and open up in my .dot files here. What do I want to open up? I want to go to my profile file, which is over here. Yeah, I already have it open in the other directory over here. Actually, let me get rid of this one and we'll just operate from the Git repo. Vim sometimes gets weirded out by that, so let me just open up the profile over here. Basically where I'm going with this one is, we've got this idea of having things on our system path, and the local bin directory is on the system path, but that private directory isn't. So I'm going to append my home directory, local bin private. And I know like these files will exist in the .files directory, not over here, but they will be symlinked over. So, this will be the source of truth of what things are actually on my path. So yeah, once you have this set up, we've got the boilerplate set up to have this idea of private scripts as well. Nice. Okay, cool. So what do we need to do now? Well, we need to go to the aliases file. Cool. And now we're just basically going to start moving some of these things out into their own individual scripts. So let me go to the .files again. And we'll go to, where do we need to go? We need to go to the local bin directory. Okay, local bin, there we go. Where am I at? I am in local bin. And I've already had a couple scripts here. This was a long time ago. For whatever reason, I put these in their own scripts. Why? Because I think they're pretty decently long. Like, yeah, I'm not going to put like a 200-line Python script in my aliases file, but that's the thing, right? Like, like why shouldn't we put 15-line functions in their own file too? So, we've got this set up here. Now let's make let's go back to the aliases file. Which one are we going to modify? Let's take the vdiff one first. So we need to now make a script called vdiff. And if we run that vdiff, it is going to give us a hello world. Why? Because if I reload this and open that, we can see that that's what this does. Like mkscript creates this little boilerplate for us. But now we need to go back to that aliases file here and grab all of this vdiff over here. I'll get rid of those empty lines here. And now I can actually do a search for vdiff and find it. Nice. So I can just paste it in there. We'll keep the options here for error, exit, pipe, fill, no one set. I feel like I've explained what those are in like 35 different videos. You know what they are if you've watched those videos. If not, yeah, you can Google them. But in this case, what do we need to do? Well, the function here isn't really important anymore to have. So let's just do one of these guys. And technically I should be able to run this now and it should operate the same way. I'm just eyeballing things. I don't really see anything that's like specific to the aliases file. Like there's no dependencies from that file that may exist in here. So let me do a vdiff compare. Yep. And if I do like, I don't know, like echo hello, and then we'll also like, I don't know, exit 0. Don't need to really put the 0 there, but why not? Cool. So this actually works, right? We made our change to the file and we got the change there. We didn't need to like reload the alias or do anything crazy like that. Can I actually do which vdiff like this? Will that work? I don't think so, but I don't know. I'm not really like I don't use whichever in this way. Yeah, I guess it does work. Okay, well, all right. I just wanted to make sure like it's not using the alias, right? So if I actually do type on vdiff, we know it's not because I ran literally the one in the file there, but we can do, going back to where I said before, like I would still need to source this aliases file. And now if I do type vdiff, it says it's a shell function from home config aliases there, but this is symlinked. So if I actually go to, yeah, I'll just go there. Why not? Config z shell. There's the aliases there. We can see the aliases file is symlinked over to the .files, the one that we just edit there. What is up with that? If I close my whole terminal and then do like a which vdiff not found, cool. If I do a type vdiff, not found. Okay, great. So I just needed to reload my terminal basically. Sourcing it wasn't enough for it to not see that. I guess it gets loaded in. I don't know specifics there. But yeah, that's one down and a couple to go here. Cool. So let's go to the next one here, which is dtags. So we got that. Maybe I'll find a more efficient way to do that. Oh, I closed so many things. I'll split it the other way because my font size is 100 million. Where am I going? I am going to source.files over here to the local bin directory. Mkscript dtags. Cool. Okay, done. We go in here. There's dtags. We will pop in our script. Don't really need the function name. Don't need the function name. We need to zoom back out here a couple times. Okay, so we've got the image here that takes in that and that. And then let's see. I think that's basically all we needed to do here. I could test all of these things later, but I just want to crank through the actual motions of doing these things. Let's see. Okay, so we have PW. That's going to be that. I'm just going to remove the new lines later. It's going to be easier. And then we can make script. What was this called? PW. Yep. Cool. We can reload there. PW, you can click. You can use fuzzy finding, whatever you want. Cool. There's that, and that. Nope, I'll keep that. And we'll get rid of that. Now that we're dealing with a nice script, I guess one thing we can do is start refactoring some of these things to be like, it doesn't need to be a one-line if condition. We can have that. Well, the one-liner there is actually kind of nice. Yeah, I think I'll keep it like that, but we can break it up into 2 lines just so it's a little bit easier to reason about here. And yeah, $1 in this case will be the argument that you pass in. If I really wanted to make a variable for that, oh, hold on a second here. These are going to fail. Aha, and I wonder if you caught it too. So do you know why these are actually going to fail? And the answer to that is, let me go to this one. It's a little bit easier. Yeah, you can't use the local keyword when you are not in a function. So these will actually, wherever I see local, I will need to change that to be a non-local. So let me go back to here and then do some column editing. Cool. And I guess we can do a search for local afterwards when all the ones are moved over, and I'll just like slam them all in one shot if I missed any. But we'll try to do them as they come. So yeah, it's one of those things like, yeah, my brain just caught that at the last minute there. But that's why it's also a really good idea to test these things. So yeah, I kind of took it for granted. I'm like, yeah, I'll test all these later. But yep, this totally would have blown up. Okay, but going back to the aliases file, let's go back to the next one here, the weather one. Let's just grab the whole line itself, I guess. And then we can do mkscript weather. Actually, hold on. Let me think. Could this actually just be an alias? Like, why could this not just be alias weather? And then what does it do? It curls wttr.in like this. And then you just kind of, would use it. I didn't reload my shell or whatever, but you would just use it how you want to use it in like your zip code or whatever wttr supports. Pretty sure that actually works. So I'm gonna roll with that actually. So if I'm gonna take this, bring it down here, and there's no honest rhyme or reason for the organization of all of these. This is also like a future problem where I should probably organize these a little bit better. But this alias for weather, I feel like that is going to work. But let me kill this. Yeah, let me kill that, make a new one just to be safe. If we do type on weather, what do we see now? Weather is an alias for curl. Cool. So can I actually do weather in New York City? Oh, we can. Wait, couldn't resolve host New York City. Couldn't resolve host New York City. Couldn't resolve host New York City. Why did that happen? So let me go back down to here. Couldn't resolve host New York City. Well, is it because New York City... How is that being used as a host name though? Is there something crazy going on here? I don't want to make this debugging like aliases. I will figure this out, but let's move on. And it's probably something dumb, but yeah. Okay, so let's move to the next one, which is GCP over here. This will, I'll grab the whole function, just going to be easier. Open up a new one here. Where am I going? I am going to local bin here, mkscript GCB. And then we got it open here. Yep, cool, got it done here. Was there any locals in here? Oh man, there's a lot of locals in here. Okay, not a problem though. Let me just also do this. As you can see, I kind of, just in my day-to-day doing a lot of things, like I tend to use the mouse and keyboards at the same time. If you want to judge me on that, you can. I don't really care because I just do those things. I don't know, that's muscle memory. But okay, so do we actually have local in here anywhere? Nope, we don't. So this should work. I'm kind of just eyeballing this real fast to see if it doesn't work. And this could be a fun game. Like count how many times I say that it does work and it actually doesn't work. And then when I go and check it off video, I fix it or find out what the root was for that one. But okay, so let's go back to the next one over here. And then we will do change terminal font. Yep, change terminal font, mkscript, change terminal font. Cool, there's that over here. Done, done, and done. Oh, just kidding. What happened there? I ended up copying something. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just undo, recopy there, change terminal font, overwrite that, paste that. Get rid of this, go to the bottom of the file, get rid of that. Do a little bit of dedenting. Okay, locals, they need to go away. Cool, they do. Local down here also. And yeah, running shellcheck also would be nice just to run this on all of them again, just to be safe here. But let me go back to the aliases file. Got rid of that. Cool. Now the next one is start recording. Honestly, this one's annoying me because it's multiple like pages and scrolling. I'll just do that one later. Like later in the sense that like when we're done. Let me see if I can optimize this workflow in real time. Can I just mkscript stop recording? Mkscript. This is a funny one. Like mkscript. What are we doing? We're making our script with mkscript. And the idea here, I don't know, like once you do something a couple of times, I feel like batching things is a little bit easier. So I should have discovered this earlier, but like I could have just made all of these ahead of time. This way I didn't have to worry about making them, switching this, removing the lines, copy pasting. Oh, I overwrote what's in my clipboard, whatever. All those problems go away when you batch things. So yeah, in this case, let me just grab the one from mkscript over here, drop it in over here, and pop it in. Cool. this work? Yes, I need to dedent that. Also dedent over here. Oh. All right. And this also. Cool. So that is going to work. Well, local. Yep. All right. Done. And then we have to go back to the aliases file. Then get rid of that function. Cool. Stop recording needs to happen now. So I'll grab that one, go to stop recording and pop it in over here. Sorry for the low energy. Like I'm just trying to do these things in real time without really thinking, even though I am thinking kind of. All right. So we got that. Okay, cool. Done. Higher energy. Fantastic. My God, look at the progress. Holy cow, deleting functions. It's so glorious. But yeah, okay. Let's go back to over here. Cool. Grab this whole thing. Got it. Aliases over here. Nope, we're done with aliases. What are we doing? We are going to start recording. Did I just not make that one? I guess I didn't. So start recording. Cool. Got to reload the sidebar. There it is. Done. Paste it in. Cool. What else? Getting rid of locals. Yep. I don't know why I just didn't do this, but there's that. Done and done. Any other locals in here? No, I don't see any. I think we're pretty good. And I am going to do a sanity check here in the end, but okay. So going back to the aliases file here, aliases file actually only has aliases now. There was another thing that kind of bugged me. I know with Bash, like you can sort of do either 2 or 4 spaces. I tend to prefer 2. So I'm just going to change these to be 2. I mean, could have did that in a separate commit, I suppose. But because I know there's other things maybe in my RC file or profile file that aren't using 2, and that's going to be weird. Yeah, I still need to figure that one out. Whatever, not a big deal. We'll figure that out. Okay, so if I do shell check now, and we do a shell check on the whole directory of things, how bad is it going to complain at us? Yeah, I understand. Okay. Ooh, man, there's a lot. And I don't know if that was before or after. Oh, look at that. We missed one. So in start recording, and again, now we're seeing the benefits of having these things split out. I can just be like, yeah, that's a start recording. There it is. Bum, doom. I just missed that. I don't know how I missed it, but I did. And I'm sure you saw that. But yeah, Python 3 shell check only. Yeah, of course, like, you know, can't shell check a Python script. I would end up using Flake 8 for that one. But okay, update Z shell plugins, declare, or so that was oh, look at that. There's another local one in there. Wait though, is that because update, is that in, oh yeah, because that one's actually in a function. Okay, so that's another just like completely independent thing. So if I do like local project equals and then do that, then that's going to fix this one. Yep, done. And then this one, use CD or exit or CD in case CD fails. So I'm CD backing a directory and I just don't want to output that to standard out. This over here. Yeah, I was going to leave that one. Like, did I mean this? I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I'll satisfy the shell checks of the world. Feel like that's never not going to fail. You know, it's one of those things, like I know it's not going to fail in my use case, but technically this is the more correct thing. So it is a good idea to do that. So we're good. We're clean. So right now it's the only error here about Python. So we did all of that. Everything is on the system path. Private directories are ignored. What else did we do? We moved everything over to their own bin directory over here. They're out of the aliases over here. And technically, some of these things should work. So let me close my terminal just to be safe. These are not on my system path yet because I didn't do the symlinking of, you know, symlinking all of these over. Maybe I'll just do a symlink with a star to get all them over into my local bin directory. But for now, I'm just going to do something like pw, which should produce no output because if we go to the actual pw file, it will copy the password to your clipboard automatically. So I actually paste that. That is what this generated over here. Pretty gnarly looking password. So, you know, these are the types of passwords that I set for a lot of things. And if you ever had to type one of those on a phone or a remote control, it is not a fun thing. I will say that because it will take you forever, which is a sign on maybe using different strategies for password, like just taking 6 random-ish words, stringing them together and calling it a day. But yeah, anyways, I don't want to ramble on too much in this video. It's already 24 minutes. But yeah, all of that is sort of working in the way it should. Everything that is working, or let me think. yeah, I don't know. The other thing is that that weather one, but I'm gonna solve that one later. Gonna make the symlinks to the other bin directory also off video, just because it's not like super, literally make a symlink to these files in a different directory. But yeah, I'm trying to think anything else. No, I don't think so. But if you have any comments about this, let me know below. And do you think this type of move is worth it? And like, when would you have made this type of move? Would you have done it when you had 1 or 2 functions, or maybe 20, or I don't know? Let us know. So also, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up because it really does help a lot. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next one.